I was showing Reinhardt, but I will go ahead and switch to Winston just because it's easier to navigate the map that way. Alright. Alright, so now we're going to show where to defend on this map properly. So, again, you are too far away from your position or from your respawn as the defender compared to the attacker. So even if the attacker trades for you, say a tracer dives your backline and they kill your support, but you guys manage to turn around and kill the tracer, that's fine. She's going to respawn and she's going to have all of her 3 blinks and she's just going to be back here again before your support makes their way back. So you're going to be fighting a 5v6 and it's a losing battle. So you're first off, you are too far forward to defend properly. Second, you're on the low ground. On this map, which is a great example, is why I picked it. Look up. Look at all of this high ground around you. If you are here, there's so many angles that they can shoot down into you. So what should you be doing? As a defense, well, you want to take advantage of that high ground. And you want to position yourself to be shooting down at them as they move the payload. So sometimes you will see players defend right here. They will use this cover. Maybe they'll have a Bastion and a Reinhardt shield ready to shoot onto the payload. Another reason why it's not good to go to the payload. And sometimes you'll see here, like maybe a Torbjorn turret will be right here. And at first glance, this looks like an okay spot because, well, where's the payload? The payload is right here. It has to come down this path. And it's got to come out right here. So you think, well, we'll shoot down at them. However, this is high ground, yes, but it's not the highest ground. What is? Well, right here. This covers the high ground here. I could just use my super jump, chimp jump, and you got this high ground right here. This one is not as good because you can only see this little bit. So this really here is the best defensive spot on this map. You can even get right here, and this is the highest ground that you can possibly get. Look how much you can see. So if you are up here, the payload, yes, is still coming through here, but you also have this flank covered right here. They try and come around. So you can basically attack them from every angle. Now, if the payload makes it under the bridge, the first mistake I see a lot of people do is to drop down and start fighting right here. Now, some heroes, by the nature of their kit, like Winston, for example, he has to do that. He has to drop down, get some shots in, and get out. Reinhardt, however, if you were using a Reinhardt shield like I was before the game lasted too long, the shield is not going to... I'm sorry, the hero is not mobile enough to get back up there. He would have to run through here and so forth. So that's not advisable. So what you should do is drop off of this. So you're up here and they push it far enough, they get through your choke. Well, the payload has to come out somewhere. So the payload has to come in here. So continue firing into them as they come around the corner. From there, or from right here. Now, if you are, if they get all the way through, then you should retreat in here to what's called the server room, and you can defend from right here. If you have a Reinhardt shield, you can defend right here as they come through. You have to be aware that there's going to be flankers coming from up there. And they will, of course, try and come around here, so you have to watch yourself. The other place that you can defend is obviously not in this room because there's glass, you can't shoot through it, but you could defend from right here as they're coming through, which also gives you coverage of the ledge over here in case one of them, one of the attackers chooses to jump up here. And they might be coming from this angle, so you've got at least even ground. You won't have the high ground advantage anymore. And then you can, if they take over the server room with the large health pack in it, then your last stand is basically to defend from here as they come down this way. So the payload has to come down this main path towards the H, and this is kind of your last hurrah. Your respawn is all the way back there. So imagine if you died at that very first point. Imagine if you were defending all the way over here and you died. Look how long it would take you to get back versus how long it takes them to get back. So obviously, missed my jump. Obviously that is not the best way to go. So what do you do now as the attacker? So knowing this, they have to be on the high ground in order to win this point. Your goal is to then take the high ground away from them. Again, don't go for the payload right away and try and fight and push it up here. You have to win the team fight first, and then once you've gained the ground, then you will be able to press forward. So you got two different routes. If you are running a dive comp, it's very easy. So you will come out the spawn door here. You will come around this corner so that they do not see you. They don't have line of sight from over there. You're going to come through this corner. You're going to use the natural cover right here. And you're going to fight them up here. Or if they, for some reason, are standing over here, then obviously you're going to come up here and you're just going to dive and fight. Now, if you are Reinhardt, it's a little bit more complicated on this point, which is why dive, I think, is so much better. Winston, obviously, is my main, so I play a lot of dive comp when I can. If you're a Reinhardt and you're pushing a death ball, what I recommend is coming out this door, coming through here, going around this way. Again, you're losing a lot of time as Reinhardt. Now, you're going to put your shield up here because they're standing over here on the far ledge, will be able to see you. So you have to put your shield up, walk through here, put your shield back up, and if they are on that ledge, if they haven't taken the high ground, you might be able to just have the fight here on the bridge. Otherwise, you keep going, and now you're on the high ground. And then you fight either on the point, or you fight them here, and you push them back to the server room. And then you can either continue to fight by going over here and pressuring them in the server room. But once you've taken this ground right here, you should have enough time to move the payload at least to about here. They'll be regrouping. They'll be regrouping from these top doors, so they'll be coming in through here. And if they are dive, they'll be coming here and diving onto you from there. Or they'll dive up to here if you're still on these flanks, right here. And then, or they will come right here and fight you, or they will even try and reclaim the server room sometimes, and try and take the server room back from you so that they continue their defense from here. And hopefully, again, it's just a push and pull. The last thing I want to talk about is flank routes. So if you're a flanker, I'm not going to switch to Genji for this. I'm going to stay as Winston. If you're a flanker, all the routes that I showed you are viable as the flanker. So if your main team is going to go, let's say you guys are going to go this way because you got a Reinhardt shield, so you're going to come up here. Well, Genji might want to take this ground here, go this way, and then as your main team pushes them off, then you're right here behind to fight them. So if your main team is going to come out this door and you're pushing them off the high ground, you as Genji or Tracer can come up these stairs and start harassing their backline as they're being pushed down, and push them all the way down here, push them all the way around the corner to the server room. The other way that you can go is if your team is all up here, obviously fighting on the high ground, you can take the low ground, zip through here. Oop, that's a terrible jump again. Zip through here. And either, depending on where they're at, come up here and again harass their backline. Or if they've been pushed all the way back to the server room, you can obviously come through here and start fighting them. So if they're, you know, say being pushed to about right here, and your team is right up on the top, you can make it all the way around back here. There's not too many flanking routes on the first path. It's very straightforward. So those flanking routes, so those small corridors and everything are great for flankers. Don't ever move your death ball through there, especially if they have like a Junkrat or a Bastion or something. If you try and move your death ball through this door here, you're just going to get destroyed. If you try and move your death ball through the main corridor without having the high ground first, you're just going to get destroyed. That's what I wanted to do. Funny hops. Anyway, so that's kind of a preview of the first point here on Gibraltar. I will go ahead and make a second video for the second point, where we'll talk about controlling the plane, just like we talked about controlling the high ground in here. I hope this video was helpful. If you have comments and suggestions, obviously this was unscripted. I may try and script them in the future so that they make a little bit more sense. But if you found this helpful, definitely leave it a like and a comment and subscribe to the channel. And I hope you guys have a great day. Bye.